Now in this video, what we want to talk about is the third property of the water, which is microclustering. And we're talking about the Kangen water and how this property is important for our health. So can you tell us what microclustering is? When I typed it up, it's not even in the even in the dictionary. So it's kind of a new word, a new thing. So tell us what that is.
Right. So it's maybe not the most scientific word, but it's the easiest way to describe the clusters of the molecules. If we look at the aquaporin of the cell, we need to actually have a hexagonal shape water molecule fit into that aquaporin. So if we're having bulk water, all of our bottled waters and tap waters are considered bulk water, which means there's like 15 to 20 molecules stuck together. Yeah. And so our medical device, our Kangen water machine, actually can split that. It takes the larger molecules of water and reduces it down to, splits it into acid and alkaline, positive and negative, as we talked about in the other videos, and also makes it tiny enough, which to me, this is the most important part, because what good is alkaline water if it's not getting into the cell?
True. So that's the importance, is that it actually helps it to get into our cells.
Yes.
And is that why when you drink it, you don't get that waterlogged feeling so much as the other waters?
Right.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So if you try drinking this tap water or bottled water, you might feel very bloated, and it's not truly hydrating the cell. So we're going to visualize that today. We just took some Yamamoto green tea, and if the water gets into the cell of the tea, then it actually, we can taste it and smell it, and the aroma, what the wonderful part of the tea comes out.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and see, we'll do 2 tea bags, and let's go see how tap water works with making a glass of tea. Thank you, Julie. And what did we forget to do when we're making tea?
We did not heat it.
We didn't, almost boil it. So it's not like the best cup of tea there, is it?
Right.
So with our machine, we took the tap water and we reduced the structure. And I'm trying the Kangen water here. And this water is actually getting into the cell of the tea.
Yeah, you can see that it's yellow already.
We can move it over here so we can see the difference between those two. Quite a difference. So if the water isn't getting into our cells, we're not truly detoxing.
Right.
It's extracellular, like sludge, or extracellular hydration versus intracellular. So if we go ahead and try making some more tea, and just see, now that the tea bag is wet, let's see if we can make some tea with this tap water. And it got a little bit better since it's wet. And we'll go over here. This Kangen water. Do you see a difference there, Julie, in the color of the tea?
So you can make iced tea without heating the water.
Yes, and you can make so much tea, and we're going to just kind of show that here. It was just a few drops of the tea. We're going to see how much, like when you're taking your supplements, if the water isn't really getting the supplements into the cell, we're wasting our money.
Right.
So we want to improve the efficacy of everything we're drinking, everything we're eating, and all of our supplements. Let's go ahead and see if we drink a little bit of tap water with our supplements, how that works for us. And then we'll try drinking the Kangen water. Wow, can you see that? What a difference. Right, we're going to save a lot of money. Are you saving money on your supplements?
Definitely. I have cut a lot of supplements, especially because of the antioxidant. That was really helpful for detox, and I cut back on a lot of supplements. I was kind of a supplement junkie, and so I actually saved a lot of money by cutting back.
Awesome. So
but the ones I take, it's great to know that that's going to break it down and get into the cells, so it's not just being wasted.
Awesome. Well, what we're going to do here is show, because this water is so tiny, that it's going to be able to break down oil-based pesticides. So these are just Nature's Sweet tomatoes, and we just are going to see how do you normally wash your produce, or how do most people normally wash their produce?
Just under the tap water.
Okay, just under tap water. So we'll use tap water here on the left, and we'll let these sit for a little bit. and let them wash. And then we're going to go ahead and wash these other ones with strong Kangen water. This is 11.5 pH. And
just let that sit for a while.
Okay, we'll let that sit for a while. And while we're letting that sit, the reason that this water is going to wash the tomatoes or your produce much better than say tap water is because it's tiny enough, just like we saw here with the teas. It's tiny enough to actually break down oil. Do oil and water normally mix? No, we like that. This is just water. So let's try a little bit of sesame oil. And we're just going to see if tap water or strong Kangen water can break down this oil. So here we have the tap water. And just as we'd expect, the water molecules are too large to break down the oil.
Yeah, it's separating.
And here we go with the Kangen water. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
I love this because I use essential oils, and this, when they get right in, if I put a little essential oil into my water, it mixes right in. It's a big difference.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So that's a visual of the microclustering. Now over here, while the tomatoes are sitting there washing, we can stir them a little. If you're washing your tomatoes in tap water, you might not be realizing that your tap water might have chlorine in it. So if this is our tap water, and what we did a few minutes ago is put a few drops of this chlorine tester to see if there was chlorine in the water. If there was no chlorine in the water, it would be clear. But there is chlorine in there. So we're going to pretend like these are our tomatoes, and we're going to wash them with our tap water. And as we wash our produce, if we see what's happening is our produce, whether it's organic, wonderful, expensive organic, we're actually putting chlorine into our produce.
So it's into the onion and no longer, that's why we aren't seeing it in the water, soaked it right in.
We cleaned the water.
Okay.
We contaminated our produce.
Yeah, that's not good.
Not good. Some people don't realize how important this is. So right here we have the tomatoes that we washed. And sometimes it's very obvious the amount of pesticides that are on our produce. And what do you think they do with our pesticides? Do they use oil-based, or have you heard that?
Probably oil, aren't they?
Yeah, they're oil-based.
I try to be so careful. I choose organic produce, which we want to wash that as well. But it is really interesting to see what is on. And even with organic produce, you'll see some dirt and residue come off.
Residual pesticides, definitely. And yeah, I definitely would recommend eating organic if at all possible. But what we're going to show is if we just let these sit here for a little bit and we pour off the water. This is what washed off with our tap water. These are the pesticides that washed off, and it looks like nothing washed off. It's just clear. And here's the water that we test. I don't know if you guys can see that. Sometimes it's super bright yellow, just the pesticides. Yeah. I don't know if you can zoom in on that, but it's definitely pesticides in there.
Yeah, there's a difference. I have seen it really yellow when I've done this too, or with apples or anything.
So I just want to thank you for letting us show this.
Yeah, this is, like we said, it's the microclustering property, and it's really a very important and unique property of this water that you aren't going to get in other waters. So be sure that you check out the other videos and our podcast, and be sure to call us if you have any questions.